The Battle of the Behemoths begins now. Welcome back to Gethin's channel. Tonight we have a side-by-side comparison of three of the biggest watches in my collection and some of the smallest. But let's not worry about them. We'll start the review with a quick slap of this barley pop. And a cough, and we'll get into it. These are my three biggest watches. They're all behemoths, megaliths, and massive pieces. And I haven't done a comparison. My man Eric King, I think it was, did recently a video comparing the Marinemaster with the OSD. Not many videos doing that. So I'll start this one off by taking him off the cushion and comparing him with the other two. And this is the Orient Saturation Diver Professional 300 meter diver, and this is Orient's best ever watch, discontinued watch. This is the SELO 2002B0, and it's a fully in-house Japanese dive watch. Less than half the price of these two, but a contender and something worth considering for all of you people with a smaller budget. It was sold for £1,000 British when it was available. Now it sells for used or new between £1,000 and £1,500. I've seen 4 available today, as of today, 2 on eBay and 2 on Chrono24, all priced between £1,000 and £1,500 British. I paid £700 for this in, I think, 2015 or 16. They're appreciating and they're quite lovely. Now this one, I will give you the specs for it. It is a massive watch. It has a 46mm case, a lug-to-lug of 54.5mm, a height of 16.6mm, and a lug width of 22mm. It's fucking massive, and at a weight of over 220 grams. It's extremely heavy, extremely robust, but it's also very demanding to wear. I mean, he is quite comfortable, but the weight does reassure you that you are wearing something quite significant. It is hermetically sealed. There's no helium escape valve. It is a saturation diver's watch with a screw down case back. It is fully sealed, and of course you will be saturation diving, but if you're not, don't worry, it is ready for that. The finishing on this watch is of the most basic kind, of the three as well, the most basic, but it is extremely toolish, the most toolish of the three, and very high quality nonetheless. It's done very well. It has an extremely pleasing bezel, and I will have to state now that my one does suffer from some sticking issue with the bezel, but most of them don't. The bezel action is superb, and you know, I can't state enough how pleasurable that is to turn. An anodized aluminium insert is featured, massive embossed painted indices, a Lume pip at 12, and the power reserve complication here, a strange date complication at 9. It is a fantastic dial. The bracelet oyster style, very nicely done, with this lovely Marinemaster ratcheting dive extension. This is the SPDX 0171. that comes in titanium, so it does scratch. And look at that. A signed crown, hefty beefed crown guards for all your spaghettified nagasteks are featured here. Deep dish Lume, handset out of the delicatessen shop. Get rid of yourself if you don't know what's up. This watch is a bananas piece. Everybody who knows what's up. But beware, buyers beware. If your wrist is a little bit smaller than mine, I can just about manage it. You will suffer the pain of the clown workshop when everybody laughs at you. It is a massive behemoth, and do not underestimate its size. And wait, you won't wear it well all day. That said, it is a bargain, and I would say consider this watch. Consider it well, because it's excellent and I love it. The next watch up tonight, to compare to that one, will be another Gigantor, and it will be the DOXA Sub 1500T. Let's take him off the cushion for a closer look. This one comes in with an equally massive, almost equally, 45mm case. A 16.6mm of thickness with this slightly domed, beautiful sapphire crystal that offers some insane distortions. External dome, and a weight that I'm not sure of because I don't actually have a scale here, but it is very, very similar to the weight of this behemoth. If you put them side by side, they're almost identical in size, but the one thing that isn't is the lug to lug. This one comes in with a lug to lug of 47mm, far shorter than the 54 odd millimeters of this bastard, making him much more wearable. But you can see the thickness is quite comparable. One thing that isn't comparable is the depth rating. The OSD 300 meter Pro has a depth rating of 300 meters. The DOXA Sub 1500T will allow you to splash your gonads in the bubbly brine up to 1500 meters in depth. Quite considerable. The only strange thing about this piece is its 21mm lug width, which is not ideal, but with its screw-down lugs and exemplary bracelet, you probably won't want to make too many strap changes, although if you do, beware, because the DOXA factory rubber with a bracelet included costs £420, which is quite absurd to me. DOXA is about as legit as it gets for dive watches, with a storied history. ISO, stuff it up your bollocks. Stuff it right up your shit cunt, because you could argue that only gimps conform to this strange federation of twerps. Cheaper watches with a chip, not necessarily the case, but the likes of DOXA, Blancpain, Rolex, Panerai, and many more far exceed this specification without conforming to it. the bracelet and case finishing on these DOXA watches is exceptional. Some of the best bracelets in the business. They really are quite something else. The clasps as well on the 300 and the 1500T are sublime and superb. The 600T and the 200, not so much. I've never handled either of them, but I believe they have press clasps and they're not quite as nice. But on these two, they are great. Absolutely great. Look at that Jenny family logo. It's all there. All milled and on the fly ratcheting is featured, which is exceptionally great. The big letdown on this watch is the Lume, and I'm not sure how this has been allowed to happen here, but it has. This is the Sea Rambler. There's quadrant dial, but the Lume is shit. I'm not going to make any excuses for the Lume. But the DOXA has the best movement of this bunch of three, with the ETA 2892, 25 joule, 50 hour power reserve movement. The winding is smooth as butter, and the crown action is the most pleasing I've felt in my limited edition experience. It is just so smooth, and it winds in so well. There's no worry. There's no worries here. Jenny family on the crown. Look at that bezel. Sawtooth. But even this watch, which comes in at £2,290, is not without flaws. Can you see that slightly misaligned bezel? I need to point that out. To be honest with you all, I have a Sub 300T that's perfect, but all the 1500Ts, and I've tried them all on, have all suffered with this slightly misaligned bezel. It's very slight, but it is a thing. DOXA does regulate their movements, and I will say that it outperforms the 8L35 pound for pound that you'll find on an SLA Seiko. You might get an 8L that performs as well, but you might not. With these DOXAs, you are guaranteed to get one that performs extremely well. So that's something to consider, considering this watch is cheaper than the SLA. Beautiful piece, but it's not for everyone. I mean, it really isn't. But let's have a wrist show with him. Shut the fuck up, bros. Look at the state of that. And of all the three, compared to the OSD, this one, I'll take this massive Casio off. And put on this saturation Mong. Look at that. What a freak. The DOXA wears much more comfortably, although the weights are comparable. I hope you guys enjoy this. I just wanted to show you three big watches. The DOXA, they're both floppers. These big, heavy, top-heavy pieces, they flop. Unless you want to strap them down tight and suffer in the heat, you have to let them flop. We just let them flop. We know they're going to do it. But that's that. So let's take him off here and move on to the final watch for tonight's review, which will be, and my notes are sparse, an unforgiving but we have some. Let's move into the third piece. A quick slab of this amber liquor will help me to regain composure in my water barometer. And finally, we have my favorite watch that's been made in the history of horology. The Seiko Marinemaster 300 SLA 023. This one comes, and this is the midget of the pack. He's far smaller than his brothers in arms, but he's still a big boy, a thick twerp, and he out-ankles all of the competitors with his specifications. This one comes in with a case diameter of 44.3, a lug-to-lug of 50.5, a thickness of 15.4. But can you see what I see? Do you see what I see? The design is just out of the spaghetti field. Case finishing is above and beyond. Even the DOXA, he's finished very well and done exceptionally well. But this watch is a work of art, a piece of art that I just can't get enough of it. The bezel action is pure pleasure. It is the whole piece, even the bracelet that many people do not like. To me, it is just an absolute piece. Look at that. Look at these angles. Zaratsu polish doesn't do it justice. You need to wear one. The dial, the Marinemaster handset, the best in the business. Nothing comes close. The Lume as well is insane. It's Japanese luxury and it's done in a different way. I fell in love with this watch in the SPDX 017 days, and we never split up, but I couldn't afford it back then. They don't care what we think and they don't care what we want. Shinji Hattori and his Japanese compadres make things that they like, and I love them. The monocoque case back, the whole position, it's undescribable. It's so freaky, and it's on the brink of perfection. It pleases me so much every day, and it improves my mood every time I slap him on. There's just nothing like it for me. This is the best watch in the world. I prefer this to the GS divers. I prefer this to the LX diver. I just think it's unbelievably great. Look at that case. It just does it for me. But I can't keep fanboying over this twerp. So we're going to see what they can all do in terms of Lume. And I've told you the DOXA Lume sucks. And I'll put them all back on the cushions, charge them up, and we'll have a look. Because this review can't go on forever. Excuse me for the long video, but I'm completely bollocksed. And so I've lost that cushion. Let's charge these boys up. Quick slap. just for a quick size comparison, I'll put the F91 down here. Much more accurate than any of them, at a cost of 5 GBP. Mr. Jin, shut the fuck up. You know nothing about TWAPs. So, here we go. It's all good. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm snuffling around for content here. There's no new TWAPs. Anyone wants to send me a watch, fucking send it, bro. Because I haven't got any money to buy any more. Okay. Lume shot. Get rid of yourselves. So we have the DOXA here. Quite underwhelming. Not bad, but it's not the best. But let's compare the Orient Saturation Diver with the Marinemaster SLA. Slightly out-angled he has been, but he is a worthy adversary. Lume Bright outshines everything I've ever seen outside of the Helson. But the Orient is very impressive. It's just a shame they don't make it anymore. And that's it. Thanks for watching, bros. Cheers to you all. Stay freaky and never give up.